What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and this is the Biker Channel, B1. Today, you're here on the 14th episode of the BKER Bar, and we're lucky enough to have Brian Kennedy from BKXC.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get started on the interview, I'm going to use the beginning of this as the. You ever watch Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yeah, of course.
And they always start out with commercials, right?
Yeah.
So to like me,
9
I'm like,
minutes.
I need to have my own commercials that people can skip through. So the way I've been thinking about it lately is there's two ways that this can play out for people. They could either support the channel on Patreon. So you could go to like BKER or patreon.biker.com and support the channel that way. Or you can not support the channel, and down the road, I get sponsored. Now you got to skip through 9 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
So
either way,
it's completely up to you guys. One way or another, I want to monetize this. So I appreciate you guys all for tuning in live, and those for you guys that are tuning in on the podcast. That's awesome too. So if you're there on Apple's podcast or Google Play or SoundCloud, please stop by and leave a review. That's the podcast equivalent to saying like and subscribe. Yep. So yeah. Please do that. And then if you guys are here live, hit the like button. And if you actually want to see more of this, go ahead and subscribe as well. I only do that on my podcast.
Yeah, you got to.
I don't like it on the regular content.
I think that we kind of all bucked the trend of not doing it, and it's probably something we should do. Yeah. Like I was like, oh, we're too cool to do that. We don't need to.
It's just one of those things that when I first started watching YouTube, it just annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah. And like they were so over the top about it.
It's over and over again. It's popping up in the middle. It's popping over here. Yeah. It's like
smash that like button.
Well, you're just like, I understand how this works.
Yes.
But the funny thing is anytime you do that, they call it like a call to action.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
It works.
Exactly. It's like, because people forget. People will enjoy it and they'll like go on, but they'll move on with their life. And like, I'm in the habit of like, okay, I'll hit a thumbs up. And if I watch like another mountain bike YouTuber, I always try to leave a comment. I try.
Sadly enough, I would probably say the reason I subscribe to your channel is you saying it.
Yeah, exactly. Subscribe it.
So in that case, well, I guess we're done here.
Yep. 68 people.
So
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the podcast has been coming along well. So definitely seeing people weekly kind of join more for the live portion.
And it's 5 o'clock,
5 p.m. Pacific Standard every Sunday, unless somebody else has like some kind of thing where they need to push it a little bit. Yeah. Maybe I move an hour forward or back or something like that. Cool. But you can pretty much count on it that way.
Yeah.
So here we are doing this live stream, and I was wondering what got you not into YouTube as far as being a content creator, but how did you start watching YouTube?
Oh, that is a good question. Man.
I'll let you think about it. I'll tell you about me. I think I started with like, just funny videos.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I never really gave a shit. And people would just be like, oh, dude, you're pretty comical. You should make a channel. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm like, I'm old. Like, that's for like kids and cats. Kids and cats, right? Totally. And something broke in my house, and it was like a water heater. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a person that can read directions and follow it. I can watch somebody do it.
Yep.
Like even like learning how to play guitar, it was always like, watch my friend. Oh, that's that chord. That's that chord. Okay, I got it. Yeah. And I was just watching that, and then I think somewhere I was like, something else I needed to do around the house. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch another YouTube video. Yep. And then, right around that time, I think is when you started posting on MTVR. Yeah. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yep.
And then here we are. Right.
Yeah, totally.
So what do you think got you started?
Man, it's the utility of videos on the internet. Really, like there's moments in time where I remember watching shows like, oh, this is a show, that you would come back to. But there's this guy named the Angry Video Game Nerd. Mm-hmm. And like, he has some funny videos, and I actually just like looked him up again recently, and he's like killing it. He's getting like millions of views on every video. Yeah. But years and years and years ago, and it's almost, where was it, YouTube? Was it some other platform? Like in that weird blurry pre-2006 era. But yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd was like totally like it's just so funny. Like just lose his mind playing old Nintendo games. Like who made this shit? And just cussing and going off. It's pretty funny stuff.
So he's still around. That's funny that you said that, like how it like blurred your memory of where it was. Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember the other day, was it MySpace that had Tom that was like your friend right away.
Friend is Tom.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
I was
exactly.
like, was that MySpace or Facebook?
Yeah.
What happened to Tom?
Yeah.
Where's Tom? He's not on my friends list anymore.
I think if you Google Tom, he is like around. And so, like on Twitter, I think he has that same like the avatar.
Oh yeah,
like,
the white T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you could customize it with your space.
Yeah.
You know? I customized my little MySpace thing. And,
you know, dude, you were a web guy too.
Yeah.
That didn't annoy the fuck out of you.
Oh, totally. But like
everybody.
It good.
Yeah.
When it looked good, it was good. But
mine was dialed in a web person's way.
Exactly.
But the people that had like 97 freaking like moving GIFs on their page,
and broken like HTML tags and stuff, like
it just made me want to jump off a building every time I saw it.
I know. It was an experimentation that did not last. There's like no more. If you want your own website, do it yourself.
Well, I think the premise skipping between it, or like from there to Facebook, instead of like at MySpace, you had to like go to all your friends' stuff to see it.
Yes.
It was still like a website almost. You know, you just got your own personal one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where and then Facebook was like,
in.
It came to you, you know, and then they took that away.
Yeah.
Now they're like, we'll give you what you want.
It really is a revolutionary concept, like email. It was an email inbox, you know, hey, what's going on? You just scroll through. All right, give me more.
Right.
Done.
Right. And then, so that's crazy.
Now you pay it
Really?
if you want to be at the top.
Yeah, right. Can you do that Facebook?
Yeah. Not like amongst your friends. That'd be even funnier if you could do it amongst it. Let me boost this post amongst my friends. I want people to like me.
You should, if you're thinking about starting your own Facebook page right now, like just delete your personal one and then make a business one.
Yeah. Make everyone like your page.
And then boost the shit out of your stuff. You're like, dick pics for everyone.
Yeah, it's root beer.
Yeah, Brian's sharing a beer with me.
Yeah.
So I guess we might as well address that. We got the
blood transfusion. Yeah,
this is what you do to get the right amount of alcohol in your bloodline.
Yeah.
No, actually, this is it has like a blood orange that's brewed with it.
Oh, it's brewed in sack.
Yeah. Track 7's local, and they like normally I don't like beers that have a fruity taste to them, and I bought this because I thought Katie would like it. She likes those.
Yeah.
And I had my fridge for like 6 months or a long time. Yeah. Like in beer time for me, that was probably like 6 days.
Rotten.
But it felt like
it was in there.
It was like, I don't even know how I got there. You know, and I finally one day I decided to try it, and it's like one of my favorite beers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It doesn't have a fruity taste to it.
It's orange, it's pithy and silky.
Yeah, so apparently
they have tasting notes on the.
Oh, there you go. What is pithy? I don't even know. We have to look that one up. You know,
not fruity.
Katie and I always had this joke about. You ever like listen to people that talk about wine?
Yeah,
and they have these like very descriptive words,
oaky
like
earthy,
forest floor, like May leaves.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck
is it in your mouth?
Yeah,
taste that.
So you don't drink?
Nope.
What's the reason?
I never associated alcohol with fun. Like growing up, so it's like it was a different wavelength, and you know most people associate it with fun. Me, not so much.
It's a social thing though too. Do you ever feel like you like odd man out?
No, I don't. I think other people do though. I think other people may not invite me, or that other people like, man, people care so much about what other people think.
Yeah,
it's like, and I do, of course, but I don't like. There's just certain things like I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Like what? Like it is what it is. I have water. Like I think people are crushed by the thought of going to a party and not having alcohol and drink and like or dancing. Like you can never dance without alcohol. Like it's very much like a crippling thing. I think that fitting in, right?
Yeah. I think it's people just want everybody to be sharing the experience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean, even it's funny, like you could even think about it if you are a beer drinker at a wine party. Yeah. Like people are still like,
so what are you
doing? You're drinking that.
You're offending me.
Fucking heathen.
Yeah.
It's, so through high school and stuff like that.
Yeah. Never had a drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, I think I wasn't very party. Like me and my friends kind of stuck together and stuff. It's not like there was big parties or anything. We in college and stuff, you go places and hang out, and even now still it's like it's fun. I can be the designated driver.
Did you ever bring a drunk girl home though? You're like the sober guy taking advantage of the situation.
I've never taken a girl home, period. Like it's all like It's
see, that's your problem, dude.
Exactly.
You can up your freaking your girl game, man. You just gotta start drinking. Boom.
Like that. Triple
Next thing you know, the channel's in the dumps.
Exactly. I'm gonna fuck
all that shit.
All about
I'm gonna travel the world. Best beers in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, man. So what did you do in high school then?
Big movie, video game, like stand-up comedy. Like me and my buddies, when we turned 18, we'd go to the Punchline in Sacramento and San Francisco, like a lot. Yeah. Like we saw so many comedians that are dead now.
Who's your favorite comedian that you've seen live?
Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
Big black guy, just so funny. He's dead now.
Yeah.
But he would just take apart relationships. Like he is so good at like the male female dynamic thing, like stuff that like, you know, now he would be just totally you know,
way too not
exactly
PC,
exactly, you know, feminist gender and all that stuff. Like he was just the best, like really the best. And there's a radio show, Opie and Anthony, and now it's like Jim and Sam. It's kind of like evolved over the years, and like he would come in all the time on that show and just bust chops and just is just some of the greatest laughs of all time. And
have you ever seen Josh Blue?
Yeah,
I just saw him just a couple weeks ago. I've seen him probably 4 or 5 times.
Oh, cool.
The guy is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't you walk in and you don't stop laughing until you walk out.
That's a great night, right?
Yeah.
Like
and it's just like delivery like that and like that. You know, it's just like one after another. It's an interesting person to be a comic because you really have to be like really analytically like dismantling everything in front of you all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then
imagine.
Be a good storyteller on top of it. You know,
it's a whole way of like the way with words and and it's so much more work than you could ever think. Like to get 5 minutes of material and just to be up there standing talking to a crowd and
like the pressure, you know, it's got to be unbelievable.
It's definitely a form of what we're doing, you know, because we are trying to entertain. Exactly. But it's that same kind of thing of like, let's try to get a reaction and try to see if people like it and like what we're doing and kind of turn something into,
So like I said, a lot of pressure. Do you feel that with your YouTube channel?
Pressure. I do and I don't. It's funny because like I think we make so much about subscriber numbers. Like it's such a thing. Like, I don't know. I hit 200,000 like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And I look now, it's like,
congrats, dude.
Thanks.
That's awesome, man.
And then it's 205,000 all of a sudden. It's like, it's weird. Like how,
like when you start, if you got 5 subscribers in a day, you're like stoked.
And
now you like blink and you get 5,000. Like you basically just got as many subscribers as I've took 2 years to build in a couple of weeks.
but my roundabout point is like, it just doesn't mean anything. It's like it does, but it doesn't. Like the subscriber number is just such an overblown kind of thing where it's like after 100,000, it's like, that was cool. Yeah. It's more about like, okay, I hate to say it, but the views, like, hey, what are people enjoying this? Are people commenting? Are people like really stoked on this? And like that, like, you know, I've had some of the best writing I've ever done, like over the summer. And like those videos have just been like, they just kind of peter out. Exactly. So my pressure now, I think, is to really just make better videos and to ramp it up and keep it going and evolve and, you know, pivot and kind of, okay, I'm still going to do some gimbal stuff and it's always going to be my bread and butter, but like, what kind of stories can I tell? Like what better things can I do? Yeah,
I think we're all finding our space. I mean, that's part of the reason that the BKXC Bar is here.
Yeah.
Like a way that I can add more content, do something different and still have like my personality, but not just be a POV channel, you know?
Yep.
So you said make better videos, and I've seen a lot of guys when they say that they dial back how many videos they make. And I think I've asked you this before. Like, do you feel like you're overexposing yourself by doing 3 a week?
It's funny. So I have dialed back to 2 because I was going to be in Tibet and China, and it's like I'm not going to be able to upload. Like there'd be a huge gap. So like maybe a month ago, I bent back to 2 videos a week, and it's like I like 2 videos a week. It's like very much like you could breathe. Like I feel like, oh, I could like
actually have a life.
I could fuck around a little bit, like, which is like just not possible before. Like, so we'll see. I think I kind of want to do some, like, you know, the Hero 7's got like live streaming built in. I haven't got one yet, but I'm like, ooh, I could do like a Friday ride and see how that goes. See if people like it. And like,
I think BC POV did something like that.
He's done quite a few. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Go do a loop. And so, but yeah, I think, you know, more and more it's like, okay, what stories can I tell? What kind of like, how can I?
Because even Seth, I mean, when he went full time, when he quit his job, wasn't he doing 2 videos a week
or more? Yeah, 2.
So it's like, hey, I got a full-time job. I'm going to do 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm going to go full-time. I'm doing 1.
Yep, exactly. And like, you know, people only want more, right? Like if it's good, people are like, oh my God, I want some video coming.
But I feel like that is part of like what helps your channel be like sustained over a long period of time is that want.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of like, I love binge watching the TV show as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But you know, like say the first time you watched freaking, I don't know, what's that one on Netflix with Kevin Spacey?
Oh yeah, House of Cards.
House of Cards. Like first time you watched that, I mean, it was like that was the first binge show, you know.
24 for me. Like I got the DVDs and I was like, oh my God.
So you just freaking do that, and then when you're done, you're like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, and,
all right, moving on.
Right. And so like I think if you have that like anticipation for the week,
appointment viewing, you know, like what we all grew up on. It was like it's gonna be on once and you might not friggin' see it again. It's different now, but that anticipation for sure. Like I do these like Patreon podcasts once a month. I Ask Me Anything, which I gotta post that tonight. Note to self. One thing that someone asked me is like, oh, do you ever worry about like stalkers and weird people? And I'm like, there's nothing about me that's like not out there already. Like I'm out there like you're saying, overexposed. Like everybody knows everything. There's nothing interesting about like 3 videos a week. Like I'm out there. Like I'm not like Seth where it's like, oh, what's his wife look like? Oh, where's he at? Like, you know, there's like a clamor, or even Alex, you know, it's definitely, they're definitely on a pedestal of like, oh, there's something more there where it's like, I'm just fucking me. Like nobody cares.
At least not yet, right? You never know.
It's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, you want that. It'd be good to have some mystique, but it's like, I'm not going to be mysterious.
I think it's in people's personality, whether they have that or not, you know, because I'm similar to you in that manner. I just fucking whatever, you know, it's like, this is who I am. This is how I feel about things. And I think, like you said, I think there's a plus and a minus to it, you know, like it would be, you know, pretty damn easy to figure out where I live, you know, I mean, on one hand, you're like, yeah, that's whatever. Nobody's gonna mess with me. But I'm sure, like the first time you have somebody come up to your house, then all of a sudden your whole freaking perspective changes. You know,
goes out the window for sure.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
It's definitely not like I mean, doing a YouTube channel, I think you can probably start to understand why some celebrities get the way that
100%.
You know?
Like me and Seth and Alex have definitely talked about it, and just how, like, if like you just want to like go take a dump somewhere, and you're like, oh, there's a McDonald's. Oh, in Moab, someone's gonna freaking recognize me. Like it's like a whole thing, and like you're just like not in the mood. Like it's just a thing, but then meeting people is like the best part of the whole thing. And people saying like, hey, I love like what you're doing. Like, oh my God, like I went here because I watched your videos. So you definitely see that, like how you kind of do have to wall yourself off and all that stuff. But for me, I'm like, I'm still okay. I'm still doing fine.
Not there
Don't
yet.
come to my house.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably in one of the things like I heard Seth talk about when he was smaller, it was so much fun to go meet people. And then as he got bigger and bigger and bigger, then it made it like maybe pushed him into his shell more.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's just like,
and I see that for sure, because you almost turn into like the guy, like, aren't you that guy? Like, can you imagine like Denzel Washington or, you know, someone where it's like, you know, he's A-list for sure, but it's like where they're like, my girlfriend told me that you're famous. That whole like next level of like, you're just an object, not a person, not interest. Like you're just like that next level of like, can I take a picture with you? I don't even know who you are, but like,
I would imagine that his personality is also a little introverted in the first place.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it really probably like reinforces that.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
Where I can understand it. You know, I mean, I'm nowhere near that, so I'm still in the like honeymoon phase. I'm like, sweet. I think it's funny. You know, I've been into a bike shop before, and somebody's like, let me take a picture of you, and the guys in the bike shop are like, what do they take a picture of this fat guy for? That dude doesn't ride bikes. Probably eats them, you know? So, right? I love carbs, even when it's carbon. So you just recently got off the plane, huh?
Yeah. So I've been back for a week and editing videos, and I finally did my first bike ride today.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I was in Tibet and crazy altitude, like super high up. We went above 15,000 feet, like twice. Shit. Crazy. And I was like, oh, when I get back home, I'm gonna get on my bike and go ride, and like I'll have all this. Exactly. And then it never happened. Yeah. Like I slept like 14 hours 2 days in a row once I got back.
Oh,
it was just like, okay, I'm back now. I'm alive. I didn't feel like it was jet lag or anything, but I just slept.
Yeah.
I slept like crazy.
What's your favorite airport food?
Or
like the thing you get on the plane.
Oh man, Oreos again. Like freaking Oreos. Like I was talking in one of my latest videos, Jason from MTV Yum Yum. Like I was over at his house and I was eating Oreos and I got an Oreo kick. But like that's like a perfect like in China, like Oreos and Coke, they're like everywhere. And Snickers bars and stuff. There's certain things that are like almost universal where you can go stop in place. But like I was finding myself eating a lot of Oreos because like in between, like I don't need a whole meal kind of thing. Get a bottle of Nong Fu spring water.
Right.
And
so you like Oreos. Twist your Oreos or you just like just eat the whole thing?
Just eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in China, once again, there's like weird different, like there's chocolate Oreos and strawberry Oreos, and it's like they're normal and not double stuff.
Yeah.
I want the double stuff.
I think if I ever took them apart, it was just to see if you could take them apart perfectly.
Yeah.
So like it didn't leave anything on the one side.
Very rarely.
Yeah. But very rarely. I think that was the only reason I did it. It didn't really have anything to do with like anything else other than
dunking them into.
So you're a big chicken nuggets fan?
Yeah.
And I assume that you've been to McDonald's in different countries?
Yeah.
Do they taste the same?
No.
I lived in Germany, the burgers tasted completely different.
Yeah, it's weird because it must be locally sourced. You know, the chickens must be from different places.
You would think a chicken's a chicken, right?
I know.
That starts to make you buy into that whole like free range shit.
Of course. Yeah. I'm like, oh, something's wrong. Like,
right?
Until you taste a chicken nugget in every continent.
Right.
Oh, no. But I didn't have any in China. Like there was a McDonald's, and I did a couple vloggy type videos of like the journey and the food, the more cultural stuff. And like, that's a spoiler alert for one of my videos. I'm like, I'm walking by McDonald's, like, not going to do it. But yeah, I remember in South Africa, there's different, like some more salty, some less salty. Barbecue sauces are definitely different.
Yeah.
Where it's like barbecue, it just says barbecue sauce on other countries, but then here it's tangy barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
It's different. It's like the sugary good one.
Yeah.
And then the other barbecue sauce is like barbecue. I don't want real barbecue sauce. I
like
want McDonald's barbecue sauce.
Way different stuff on the menus too. Like
yeah.
Like even in Hawaii, they have like spam and eggs there. You know, it's like, okay, you go to Germany and they have like freaking tacos and shit. And you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know McDonald's did tacos. What? And we're in Germany. Why the hell they got tacos? You know?
Whatever works.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. So where food wise is your favorite place that you've been? Is it still Spain?
Man, so China had some good food. It really did. Yeah. So like I flew in, the city's called Chengdu is where we started, and then we like took a bus.
There's like a joke for every city in China, right? Like, sure. I mean, like Chengdu, there has to be a joke in there, right? You know? So anyways, I'm sorry.
But yeah, like first day walking around, I found these like little pot sticker type things, like dumplings. So good. They're like 4 of them for 5 yuan, which is less than $1. It's like 80 cents for like 4 of these like amazing pot stickers. Like I went back to that guy over and over. He like recognized me, of course, because it's pretty cool. Like,
so if your channel started in China, you would be like the pot sticker guy instead of the chicken nugget guy.
Yes, I totally did pot sticker. That would dumplings like for life. It's funny too because like in Chengdu at least, like walking around, you didn't see any white people. It was like really cool. Like it's like a neat thing. And then I went to like one of the squares and then I saw some other white people. But I was like, yeah, get away.
Yeah, right.
You're ruining my authentic experience here. And a lot of Chinese people want to take pictures with me just because I'm a white guy. Not because of my YouTube channel.
Yeah. When I lived in Germany, there was a Asian bar in the neighborhood, like sort of where we live.
Yeah.
And me and my friends thought it was hilarious to go there because, like, I mean, you could call it stereotypical or not, but Asians aren't typically over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And so, like, there'd be like 3 of us in this bar, and you could always see where your buddy was.
Yeah.
Like, totally. You just like see right over the top of everybody's heads, you know, be like, "Hey, Brian, give me another shot."
Totally.
Yeah, that's not. We didn't have a clue what anybody was saying. Or like,
it's just a good time.
Yeah. So, who the hell is Brian?
You got a couple super. I think there might have been another super.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was. But that I appreciate people doing the super chats, especially during the live show. I definitely, love the support without a doubt. I just don't want the super chats to be like to
dictate the podcast.
Yeah, and like I want the conversation to be the conversation. Yep. I really appreciate everybody that does do the super chat.
It's cool to check in a little bit.
Yeah. I kind of keep an eye on it. Yeah. So if something interesting comes up there, So I mean, like, who the hell is Brian Kennedy? That's pretty open-ended.
that is very open-ended.
What's the shirt you're wearing there?
This is bikepacking.com. It's like my favorite shirt, and see, it's like the shirt that I get asked about the most. This like shirt is so popular now that you used to be able to buy it. Now you have to like join the bikepacking.com club to be able to get the shirt. So it seems like it's holding up, but
have you ever done any bike packing?
Yeah, I've done a couple different ones. I went around Lake Tahoe once, where as we know, only the east side of Lake Tahoe is trail. The west side is all wilderness. So you can't ride on the west side of Lake Tahoe, so you have to take the road. But like I started in the north, on the Cal Neva, the border. Mm-hmm. I had my bike packing gear, was my old Yeti SB66 before I started my channel. Mm-hmm. And it was like,
so just take the TRT basically.
Yep, exactly. Tahoe Rim Trail, and it was like Labor Day weekend, like where it was like, I want to do something. I had a 3-day weekend, and like it was nobody's out there. You don't need permits. It's like you could camp within. It's either 50 or 500 feet of the Tahoe Rim Trail. Mm-hmm. You just camp wherever. Just camp wherever. Yeah. Put up a tent. It's like pretty neat. Mm-hmm. Like that is so.
Just by yourself?
Yeah, I was just by myself and had my little tent and stuff and water filter, and went the first night I made it to like Spooner Lake, which you're not supposed to camp on, but I was like, whatever. Like I gotta camp. I need water. It was dark. And then I went up to Star Lake, which is beautiful up there. And then I came down and then rode around the lake on the tarmac. But yeah, and I've done a couple other random bikepacking things. Me and Eric from DCPOV this summer, we were in the Chilcotins, which is.
So when you were up there by yourself, was there ever a point where you were like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like you started hearing some shit out in the woods.
You always hear stuff, and it's like the way I did my tent was like I did the rain fly with the poles, and then I had my footprint. So it was like ultra light, but no mesh, no mesh protection. I remember one night just being like, something's, I'm sure there's bugs crawling all over me. And I kind of like calmed down. Like, okay, I'm fine.
There was a night ride that I did. When I first started night riding, for whatever reason, it was like it opened up this whole new world to me.
Oh, cool.
And I think it was, before the channel, like I was really in a routine of like, probably like 3 places I rode. It was like Rockville, Auburn, or Salmon Falls. It was like, just do those 3. Which way you doing? Maybe you're doing a different route, or maybe you're going to ride it backwards this time, or, so when I started night riding, it was like, it took those places and made them all brand new again,
definitely.
And one thing though is like you could hear what's probably a field mouse in the woods, and you think it's a fucking like a Sasquatch.
Exactly.
Like it sounds like trees are getting knocked over. And we heard something we were like in that midpoint of the Forest Hill Divide in Auburn. Sitting at the table there, just having some goos, and a Sasquatch was out there, like a Yeti or something, and we're like, let's get the fuck out of here, man. So we start going,
grown men,
and then
scared.
like we're hauling ass, and in my mind, every time I got to that point of the trail up until that day, I remember it being downhill from there. So we start taking off, and all of a sudden, my buddy who I'm with is just like dusting me, which is typical. I'm always the slowest climber, and all of a sudden, like it just like took me back to those like Nat Geo shows where they're like, the lion always gets the weakest of the pride. Like I'm the slowest. Motherfucker. This is not good for me.
And then a raccoon just comes out.
Okay. So almost got sprayed by a skunk in Rockville the other day.
No.
Oh yeah. We came
at night?
Yeah. We were coming down the trail, and all of a sudden I yelled to 2 guys I was listening. I was like, stop! And we stopped, and he's like taking off. And then so he like goes down the tree line there. And then we kind of we're hauling ass then, and we go down this other trail. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, so and we pop out there, and apparently he went, he was over there, dude. And then I'm like, oh fuck. Like, yeah. So that's the second time I've seen a skunk out there.
Skunks are funny, man. Like I honestly, went probably seeing 1,000 dead skunks before I ever saw a living skunk.
Yeah.
You know, on the road, just smashed like over and over and over and over. And then finally one night I was coming home from like my newspaper job, coming home in Crockett. I'm like, it's a skunk. It's alive. Like scurrying through. Like, finally.
I think the first time I ever saw one was here in Sacramento. I must have been in my 30s by that point.
Yeah.
I was like leaving
eventful
crawdads.
Yeah.
I was like going through the parking garage. I'm like, there's a fucking skunk. Like, all the time I spend in the woods, you think I'd see one out there.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've seen on the trail?
Animal-wise. Yeah, wildlife-wise. Well, actually, there's going to be a really good one. A yak. In Tibet, like it was a good encounter.
What exactly is a yak?
So it's just a really furry cow, basically. They all have, like all the cows out there have horns. Some of the cows are bred with yaks, but it's just very furry and kind of like
a woolly mammoth.
Exactly.
Cow. Okay.
That's a perfect way to say it. Yeah. So that was a pretty good interaction, which will be like my first riding video in Tibet in 2 months from now, since I'm doing 2 videos a week. I'll just you know, I have a whole year's worth of content.
Right.
But that was pretty good. But I'm just blown away, like the amount of miles that I've ridden over the past 6 months and not seen shit.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Like, oh, Italy, I made a joke because I saw a squirrel. That's like the only thing I saw in Italy. Was a squirrel. Like, come on. Like me and Eric were out in the backcountry Chilcotins where grizzlies are supposed to be everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
I almost ran into a bear in Auburn.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's one of my videos.
Yeah.
It's coming down the Confluence Trail, man. I came around the corner and about shit my pants, man.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to see a moose.
Yeah.
I would love to see a moose, like in real life.
Yeah, they're giant. I've seen them in Alaska, not riding, but like just easily taller than that. Like, you know, their head is probably touching the top of that kind of thing. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, like maybe even taller, just massive. And they'll be in the parking lots and stuff, and they're supposed to be pretty dangerous too with like their calves and stuff.
The first time, I saw a golden eagle.
Oh, cool.
They're nesting up in Natomas.
Yeah.
And we're riding up there, and
massive.
It was sitting up in this tree. I've never seen one in real life.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fucking bird I've ever seen in my life. Man.
Yeah. I've seen a couple here and there, like in Crockett, they nest and like they shut the whole fucking park.
Yeah.
Like, there's a trail in Crockett that was built that was decent, and then like, oh, there's nesting eagles back there, and now they don't even keep it up and stuff. It's like a pain in my ass.
Yeah, I guess there was a landslide onto part of the bike trail up there.
Oh yeah.
And they're nesting above it, and since they're nesting above it, they haven't fixed that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's crazy seeing such a big
seen
bird.
Snakes and stuff every once in a while. Yeah, actually in Tibet we were riding, and I think it was just like a Tibetan vulture kind of thing, but it was so low and so big. I was like, whoa! Like I love wildlife so much.
Yeah.
And just really feels like you're out there.
Yeah. So cutting back to 2, is that official?
For now. So it's like I'm gonna ride it out for as long as I can, because there's enough going on where I'm like, I've talked about like my idea for like Anthony Bourdain style video before. Like I want to do something like that, and that takes like a week, just like shooting, and like then a week.
I think I said that too when we were in Downeyville the very first time. Yeah, but I could see you doing like more of like a food travel.
And that's
and the biking.
Yeah, and I've thought about that for so long now, and it's like I'm finally hoping to get one going. And
what a loss with that guy.
Yeah, totally.
His show is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like Katie, my lady. She just loves food and cooking, and we could eat like Thanksgiving dinner, and she could watch a cooking show. I'm like, why do you even care right now? Yeah. And that was one of the shows though that really got me to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It was like really interesting in seeing the culture and the way that
it's more about the people.
Yeah.
Like,
and he was an entertaining character himself.
He's so funny. But and that just shows that like we really don't know anyone kind of thing. We think we know and we don't.
Right.
People struggle, and to take it to that extent is just unimaginable.
Yeah.
That's how people get so deep in a hole. He was shooting an episode. Yeah. That was like, it was an episode that they're going to do in France or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Just freaking crazy.
Tortured artist.
So you, 2 a week. So do you see yourself getting to a spot where you could go and record something and just be like, that wasn't good enough and just let it go?
Oh, maybe. I always leave that option on the table. There's only been really like, honestly, like 1 or 2 videos that I ever were like, oh, when I was on the ride, like almost panicking of like, nothing's happened. How is this ever going to be good? And then it turns out when you edit it and it's like, yeah, I'll make it short as fuck if it needs to be short as fuck. Like, and it's still interesting. So
I've had a couple I just dumped.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually. I'm completely surprised. I've done maybe 400, 350, you know, however many videos that like there haven't been any where I've been like, nope, I can't do it. And I think I'm easy on myself with that too, you know, where it's like, like I somehow I'm not so much of a perfectionist, which is the way to be if you're going to make YouTube videos.
Well, especially if you're doing 3 a week.
Yeah,
I think if you're doing 3 a week,
crank them out.
Yeah, like to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
You just don't have the time. Like when you guys were doing that redemption.
Yeah.
How the hell were you guys like sleeping?
It worked. It was not that bad. I think
so you were having a break. It was
Saturday, Sunday, probably. Like it was like I think he did Sunday, I did Monday. It's like
hang on just a second. Just so for people that aren't familiar with the redemption that I'm talking about, Brian and another channel called the Single Track Sampler met up and they were driving around like
started in
riding,
Nashville, maybe
riding every day, and basically one of them would release a video on their channel one day, and the other one would release a video on their channel the next day. So basically, you would ride and then edit and ride. And when I first started doing YouTube, I asked Gene, or I was watching a video that Gene from Regular Guy Mountain Biking did, and somebody asked him like, "How long does it take you to edit?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "Usually 3 times as long as the ride took."
Yeah.
And that's usually what I tell people because it's probably
that's
accurate.
About right. Yeah.
You know, like the ride was 3 hours. For it to take 9 hours to edit, get your thumbnail, like do all the stuff that you're doing, you know, make your web page post or find it on Trailforks, like all this little stuff that you're like, oh, it only took me a couple hours.
Exactly.
And then you really look at how much time, you're like, holy crap. So for you guys to be doing that, like,
it was awesome. Like I was thinking about it today, like it's not been done, like nothing like it's been done
nobody else
before or since. And like even in the YouTube world, like when YouTubers collab, it's like one video on each channel at the same time. Like it was such a novel, awesome concept. And like I've wanted to do it several times since then, and like schedules just never match up. And like you kind of it's a story, right? Like that's what it all comes back to, is story and storytelling. And like we didn't really have a goal, but it was just this like it was this story of like, where are we going next? Oh man. And then just hitting people every day back and forth. Like it's so cool. Like I loved it. Yeah. Well, me and BCPOV did it back and forth, but it's just not the same. It didn't hold that same thing in the imagination of like, Redemption 17. I think we had 14 or 15 episodes or something like that.
Well, and I think the key point of it too was there was a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
So the redemption was because you guys tried to do this a year before.
Exactly.
And
Alex
he got hurt.
Yep. In Arkansas, the shoulder thing. And
it's definitely interesting. You know, it's funny. I when Alex was going through his recovery, and I remember sending him some messages and just being like, dude, you just need to get on and like tell people that, you know, what's going on and they'll understand. Because I could tell he was like losing his mojo. You know, and I recently went through a little bit of burnout, and I didn't take that advice either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
you're in a hole. It's so easy to be like, oh yeah, like I've always said, like when I hurt myself eventually, like, I'll make videos about it, like it'll be a whole thing. But yeah, when you're sitting there with your fucking broken arm or leg and you're like, I'm just gonna fucking watch Netflix and eat and like leave me alone. Like,
how have you not run into burnout yet, dude?
Because I think everything's been so rewarding, and like everything's been so like everything that I've gone after I've achieved. And I think right now is the crux of when I'm starting to feel it, because I don't think my videos are doing that great now. And it's like, 200,000 subs, 20,000 views. Like I've been getting 20,000 views from the beginning. So it's like, what's the difference? Right. So it's like, do people care? And that's when I think it starts to set in. It's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So burnout wise, like I have the luxury of, it's just me, right? I can work 16 hours a day, all day, every day, and have for a while, kind of thing. And like, it's not, my other obligations are minimal. So I love it. And I love it so much that it's like, I want to create, and I get so much from it, from the emails and from the comments. And when that stuff starts to kind of go away and like, there's not, people aren't as fired up about this. It's like, okay.
You know, when my channel was smaller, I used to get almost close to the same amount of views as I had subscribers.
Yes.
And I'm noticing
the magical, just like, oh my God, everybody's in it. Everybody's into this.
And I think, part of, working with other vendors and stuff like that is you have to have a way to market yourself. Of
course.
And so that was a way that I could make myself stand out, was I could say, look, I might not be as big as these guys, but I have like 90% of my people are watching every video.
Yeah.
But as you get bigger, then you have to find a different way to market yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Totally unsustainable. Yeah, exactly. And just making good stuff, right? Like that's what it's all about. And just like I'm like almost bent out of shape about the Quebec City riding was like the best riding I've ever done. I love that place. But it's like, just because I had a great time doesn't mean I told the story the best or had the best thumbnail and the best like the lighting was kind of shitty. And it's like, this was the best. Like, what more could, like, this is the perfect video, but it's not the perfect video because it did.
Sometimes when you're having a lot of fun, it's really fucking hard to talk.
Yeah.
Totally. And I, like when I did Mount Huff just recently, and it's like, it's one of those rides where you're riding it. Realistically, the trail is pretty much the same from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. So
there's not a lot like feature wise to be looking at.
Yep.
But you're having so much fun that all you're really saying is the same thing every time. This is awesome. Exactly. Oh, sweet. This is great. Exactly. Oh man, I'm flying. And you're like, how is this going to be a good video? Because I am just having a good time.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's definitely
you need some some
I told some stories.
Wrong. Exactly.
So I think when I started my channel, and I don't know exactly what your perspective is on how you do yours, but I wanted mine to be like a vlog on wheels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, it's POV, but if you notice, I don't have a whole lot of like dead time where I'm not talking in my videos.
And I think that's huge. That is like I get a decent amount of, it's a very small minority, but like, why are you talking so much? Like, shut up. And it's like,
hit mute then, dude.
You don't understand. Like people really don't understand. Like I get sent videos quite often where it's just somebody riding and it's silent and it's just them riding. It's like, you don't understand what I'm doing. Like just watch one of my videos without the video on. And you'll see like, oh, there's actually, you can keep up with what's going on just by listening and the audio thing. And it's huge. Yeah. I surprise myself sometimes, like, cause people I don't know, a bunch of people have asked me recently, like, oh, how do you like script your videos? Or like, how do you know? Like, it's just like muscle memory now. It's like, oh, I need to talk about something. What's going on? What am I feeling? And like, I can just pop. I think we're pretty much the same way, right? Like something comes to mind, you can tell a little story about it.
I think there's a couple different ways that people do things. There's the guys that do the voiceovers.
Oh,
they write their stuff out, and then I think there's guys like you and I that you just wing it basically.
And somehow it comes out, but obviously sometimes it doesn't. I think like that whole idea of writing your script out is huge because when you're writing out, you're like, oh, there's nothing here. Okay. There isn't a story. There isn't nothing happened. Like there isn't, like you are faced with that fact so quickly of like, okay, what
am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of coming up with something beforehand and writing something and like bringing it together.
Even when I do voiceovers, I just put the video on and then I talk.
Yeah.
Like I can't
do the script.
I can't do it. It's just like, it's not part of me, you know, like I feel like I don't even know how I would do that. Yeah.
It was a trip being at Seth's house and like he was working on a video and I could hear him like doing a voiceover like on his video. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, oh yeah, we went to Berm Creek.
Right.
Like, oh fuck, we went to Berm Creek. Like, just hear him doing it. It's a trip.
Right. Imagine if you had to do that on the trail. Right?
Yeah.
Back up the hill again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, damn it. Do it again.
It has to be perfect.
Yeah. So you like listening to podcasts, right?
Yeah. I'm very audio. I do audiobooks and podcasts.
What do you like listening to?
I was listening to the MF CEO on the way here. So it's like this guy named Andy Frisella, who big business dude, motivational business stuff, and pretty good stuff. He was talking about swagger and fighter pilots in World War II and just like how they had swagger, but they had the best equipment as well. And you need swagger. It's just a lot of good tidbits like that.
What'd you take out of it?
That attitude is huge. Like that you have to have something great, but you can't be meek and timid about your thing. I'm not a great promoter of me. Like you have to be, like you kind of have to be your biggest fan and like, okay, I'm gonna fucking post this on Reddit. It's a great video. Like I know I like it. I know the Reddit people are gonna hate it or whatever. Like you have to kind of force yourself out there and be that person if you want to keep
you
growing.
know, I'm pretty usually, you know, positive and happy person. And I think when I was kind of going through that slump, as much as I thought I was pulling the wool over everybody's eyes, I wasn't. And it was really apparent to people. And when people leave my Patreon, I always send them a message and just say, hey, like, please tell me if it's something I did wrong or I said wrong, or just so I can maybe make it better for the other people.
Totally.
I would appreciate it, you know? And one of the guys was just like, dude, you seem like you're just doing it for a job and not. And it really was like, and I started writing the guy back and I was like, you know what? Like, I can't tell you anything more than like, you're right. You know? And it really was like, made me realize like, dude, you're not fucking bullshitting anybody. Like, people know you just as well. Like Katie, like, knows if I walk in the room, she can tell by like the way I blink that like something's wrong. You know what I mean? But like,
it's all there.
These people on YouTube have been watching me for 2 years now. They can see it too, Rob.
Exactly. Hey, what's up,
you know what I mean? Right? So it's definitely really really interesting. I don't remember where I was going.
No, it's true. And like, we try to like, oh, we'll keep going.
Oh, your swagger thing. That's what it is.
And not like an office job where it's like, oh, we're trying to stamp this. It's still that kind of like, oh, I gotta be on. I gotta turn it on. And like, I feel lucky that I've had, like, thinking back to like a couple videos, like, so the one that I thought wasn't gonna be anything, I'm trying to think if it was what exact video it was, but I think it was in Idaho, Sun Valley, Idaho, where it was like, oh my God, I'm like actually in like a bad mood also, and nothing's going on, and like just totally
just being a dick
spiral. Like, it's like I was almost laughing to myself where it's like, I'm so lucky. This is like the only time this has ever happened. Like, I'm like fucking like almost like jazzed. That's like, wow, this is how bad it could be. And it hasn't been that bad yet.
So, I've been listening to this podcast. It's how we made that or something like that.
How I made this.
How I made this. NPR. And they talk to like CEOs of companies about how they came up and how they started. And in listening to different people do podcasts or interviews, like you pick up on different things. Like Joe Rogan was a really good influence to me starting this. Where I was like, dude, I like that idea. Just talk about whatever the fuck, you know.
And you're a great conversationalist, and you can take it. You can take the ball, throw the ball, like kind of move, and like so you have that rhythm. Like,
thank you, I appreciate it. So I was like, this is something that I can provide to people, 100%. and not have to do another 9 hours editing, right? So one of the questions though that he always asks people, and I think is just an amazing question: what mistakes have you made?
Mistakes. That, you know, that is like such a funny question too, because like in my weird narcissistic way, I'm like, hell, mistake.
Like a goddamn mistake.
There's no mistakes. all my stuff's like personal relationships and chicks and all that. Like, that's the only place I have regrets and like, I don't know.
So you don't feel like with the channel you've done anything wrong?
Oh, I'm sure, but it's just so minuscule. You know, it's like it's 2 videos a week now, but with 3 videos a week, it's always just a learning process. It's just totally like, I think it all comes back to, I used to work in a newspaper, 365 days a week. We fucking put that newspaper out. Like, there's no crying over what happened yesterday. It's always on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. Put it out and go. Exactly. Like, mistakes. I think
like maybe merchandising or like,
no, I like all my shirts and stuff. I know I've been a dick a few times, like on live streams and different things, and that's just me. And it's like, I do feel bad about that, but it's like the more you try to pretend to be something else, like I could always tone it down and kind of like,
because your channel is a business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, you know.
It is.
And I think, you know, pretty much everybody's channel is a business. I mean, there's probably a number where it starts being a business, and before that, it's kind of just fun. But you know, there's definitely, you know, man, what was something that I did? Like, this is one for me. Just the other day, I learned that with using the website Bitly, that it tracks how many people click those links, and you can see the statistics on that. And I was like, man, I remember when I started, I went to like, I looked at Bitly and I thought it was only a paid service. So then I started using Google, you know, and to shorten my long links. And that was that. And now I'm like, man, if I had the data from like a video that's 2 years old that I could take to a company and say, look, I did this review on I-9 stuff, and in the last year, it has now got, 3,000 people have clicked that link.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
It is.
And that's one of those things where, like, to me, I would kick myself in the ass and be like, man, I wish I started that from the get-go.
There are things like that for sure. Like, that's almost like the crux of all, like, the worry and like, oh, should you be doing this? Where it's like, oh, I just don't want to sell myself. I do, but I don't, right? Like, Patreon is just so good. And like, you just be yourself, and you sell yourself by being yourself, kind of thing. But I think you're right. There's so many opportunities where it's like, oh, if I would have just kept track of this and done this, and then, emailed 20 companies and said, hey, how about this? And like, those are opportunities maybe squandered, but mistakes.
I think for me, like, I had a lot of organizational skills through doing web development and stuff like that, that led into the YouTube that really set me on a good foundation. Like, having a text file with all my show more in it. So if I want to change it later, I can like copy paste, boom, 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 boom. And like have like things organized in that manner. A lot of that I had really good foundation on, where I can see people learning later where they're like, oh, put all your PNGs for your title screens in one folder, and then all your Instagram posts in another folder, so that you can like, like,
it's there, it's organized,
stuff like that. Like maybe you learn by trial and error, and so I feel fortunate that I had that, but that Bitly one really bit me in the ass, because I think I'm a data guy too. Regardless of what the power of it is, like, I've had a Garmin. I've had a Garmin for years. It's like, it's like, oh wow, oh, somebody in South Africa hit that link. That's weird. Why? Like I don't have enough shit to think about.
How can I leverage this?
Right.
Real data.
So, how many you bought your car, I think, last year?
Yeah.
So how many miles?
43,000.
Yeah.
On the RAV4. Yeah. It's crazy.
You just recently drove cross country.
Yeah. So I started at home. I went up to Whistler, over to Chilcotin's and Penticton, then down to Sun Valley, and then Montana, and all the way to the east coast of Canada and the east coast of the US too, but like Quebec City.
Did you have like subs? Like,
there's just people
you were going to ride with all
ideas all the way around. Like, where it's like, okay, I could go here, and I know people there, and then I want to do this, and like, and just pieced it together all the way.
So were you kind of like winging it by the cities, or
a
did
little
you
bit,
like?
But not really. Like, I kind of had a good idea. Like, there's wiggle room, like with weather, and like, okay, I need to just stay here and edit for 3 days, which I did a couple times, but very like when I email people, okay, I think I'm coming this day, and then have to commit to it, which is a pain in the ass. It's so funny. Like, it's so nice, just like, oh, I could do this, do that, but I like scheduling stuff out.
The nice thing about California and where I'm at is our weather is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
But you go other places, it's not.
Totally. Yeah. It's gonna rain any second, once you cross over to a place, it's like, wow, it's so green here.
Yeah.
This is so nice. It's the dead of summer and it's so green. Yeah, because it fucking rains all the time. And like that's the only way that happens.
I grew up in Pennsylvania. I used to say it rained every Friday from like 5 o'clock until Monday at 8.
Yeah.
And anytime you had plans.
Yeah.
Anytime you had plans, it was like you had to have like the indoor plans and the outdoor plans. Like, we're gonna have this picnic we're gonna have this inside dinner,
Man, we're so lucky. Like, it was 80 degrees like today, and it's almost November. It's just beautiful.
Well, it's funny, it's like the peak of everybody's riding season. It's kind of when I went into my slump, it was hot as fuck here then. Like over 100-degree days. There was all these fires going on, so the air quality was shit.
Totally.
So I didn't want to ride because of that. I had already had just this kind of like too much shit going on for too long. And it was like,
I remember you talking about the backlog of videos. Like, it was like weighing on you.
And I don't do well with that. And I've noticed that several times. I mean, it was probably 6 months ago I did a video. I quit recording.
Exactly.
And it was just because I do better when I can ride and then edit. And ride and then edit.
Man, there's been like on this Tibet trip, I actually like, it's funny because there was no heat. It was cold as fuck at night. And it's like, I'd get into bed and like have my laptop and like it'd be like 6 o'clock at night, so it's like, all right, let's edit a video. Like, I edited that day's video. Like right then I got like 2 or 3 of those like done in the moment. It was so cool. Like, done. Like,
you can remember everything that happened.
It's just right then. It's fresh and so I've got one last Italy video to edit, and that'll be tomorrow. It's funny. The editing process just always it's invigorating, and then you like hit weird slumps, and you're like, oh my God, I got this many more clips. Like, I don't remember any of this shit. Like sometimes like, no one's going to know if I just end it here. Like, what's the difference?
That's the problem too.
I got to do it. Got to go through them.
I always try to be really like, in order, like the way that the ride went. And it's like, sometimes you're like, dude, I could have like you're like, oh, I forgot this one part. You're like, dude, I could just throw that into the end. And the only people that would know would be like the people
sun
that
is lower in the sky.
Or they would be like, they know like, oh, well, that's my local trail.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
That,
Wait, you were up on Brush Beef?
So I just can't do it though.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's definitely and that was the thing with my editing too, is that I have this like OCD to me that I want to only do them in the orders that they were recorded.
Yeah, totally.
So a few times that I've had to get away from that, it was really tough for me.
Totally.
To just like.
And there's some other, like, I have the same thing, but like being home and my house being dirty, like all the time, like it's there. It's like just a black hole for me where it's like, okay, I got a pile of clothes over here. I got a light that I need to install that I bought online a year ago, and it's just sitting there like these black holes of like right now my garage, like my bike bag's still busted wide open and all that. Like that just weighs on me while I'm trying to edit. Like I'll just think about it while I'm trying to edit. It's like I gotta have everything right. OCD, like
So like if it was like the perfect girl, like if she could
take care of all that shit.
If she could cook like freaking no other, like Marie Callender herself, right? Or whoever the fuck the best cook is, right? Or she had like a really dirty car. Like would the really dirty car like get rid of it?
Oh.
Is that a deal breaker?
It is, because it just says something about you, right? Like it's just But
what if she like dressed really nice, but her car was just full of trash?
Because it's you can a lot of us wear our bullshit on our sleeve, and then some of us can tidy it up and hide it away, and then all of a sudden you look in their fucking car and there's rats and shit jumping out when you're like, oh no, like there's no justification. Something is terribly wrong with you. No, I can't do it.
So what's terribly wrong with you? What's the thing that the chicks are like, oh, that's the deal breaker?
No,
this guy fucking works too much.
No, you're
like, I'm fucking perfect. I'm narcissistic.
Exactly. No mistakes, no problems. No, like I break up with. I've never.
Have you ever been broken up with?
No. I just.
You've always been the guy.
Yes. I'm sure there's plenty wrong. I blow up. I get angry and stuff like that. But like, no, it's been freaking 2 years since I've.
Do you think you cut the ties before they have the chance to?
No. I it's pretty like, oh, she really is into this kind of thing. I guess I'm just like, I need to get gone. Before I get too hurt, kind of thing. They always get hurt, but we're talking about like 4 people here.
The very first time I ever broke up with somebody, it was unbelievably difficult. Like, how do you do that? Like, here you are, you're carrying around this, that you're gonna more than likely wreck somebody's feelings. And I think even if you're a complete asshole, you still don't like to see people get hurt.
It's the ultimate of like face to face and like okay, this is and I think most of it is bad communication to begin with. I think everything's bubbling and bubbling. You're like, I can't take it anymore. Like, what? I thought we were getting married. Like, you can't take what? What's going on? Like,
I think that's probably the key to probably any relationship problem.
Just like wear it on your sleeve and just be like, nah, well, I like you.
But even bad communication could be too much communication.
Of course, and people fight all the time, and it's very, very rare for someone to be so reflective upon themselves to even know what's going on and why they're mad at this or that. Like that's too much to even try to discern.
So does 2 videos a week give you enough time to get a girlfriend? No. That's like, oh, I wish I had like half of your charisma, and half of your ability to like talk to people and like do that. Like you do though, dude. You're so easy to talk to, dude. You just get nervous when you get I'm on these dating apps and it's just so many subpar chicks. Like my standards incredibly high. Like you don't have to be a perfect 10 model, but you have to be a perfect 10 in my eyes. I think dating apps really fucking ruin that though.
Yeah.
Because it makes you look at them as a
commodity or
there's
objectify.
Well, it's just like really easy to be like, oh no, I don't like that. No, exactly. I don't like that. You know, and it's like I remember right. Well, I actually met Katie on a dating app.
Yeah.
And at the point that I met her, I had already like given up on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually don't give a fuck anymore.
Yep.
It's so much easier for me to meet people in person than it is on this, because they're like, oh my God, how much do you weigh? What's your waist size? What kind of car do you drive? What did you claim on your taxes last year?
Totally.
Was it like what was your profit margin?
You know, and versus like in real life, it's like,
like, this guy's fucking funny, man.
Exactly. There's things that just like you think are total deal breakers, and it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
She thinks the Bible is the exact word of Christ.
She's
totally normal.
Yeah, there was this girl on the one dating app that I was using that I thought was really, really gorgeous. And I tried to message her a few times, and it was like, nothing.
Yeah.
Like right in the round file. Yeah. I went in there with my funny story with all the guys in the dick pics. Exactly. It's like I just didn't get anywhere. I'm like, whatever. Yeah. And so one night, I live down in like kind of a downtown area, for you guys that don't know. Sacramento, or the area that I live in. So like, to walk to a bar to have a drink or whatever is normal, right?
Yep.
And so I'm walking down this bar, and this girl is like, they have these high water houses here. So it's like the porch is kind of like, if you were somewhere else, the porch is kind of like on the second floor. It's like big steps that come down, because way back when Sacramento used to just flood all the time.
Yeah.
So there's this girl up on this porch, and she's like, oh my God, can you help me? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, right? I'm like, fucking look up, and it's like, hey, it's a good looking girl. Like, right on. Yeah, I'll help you. What's up? There's a fucking huge spider in my living room, and it needs to die. And I'm like, a huge spider. I'm not great with bugs, but I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I'm a fucking man. So I come up there, kill this fucking spider. And her friend's up there freaking out with her. Yeah. And her friend is that chick from the dating app, dude.
So silly.
So I start talking to her, and then I tell her, like, I've sent you a message. Because I have a photographic memory, so like, I will forget every person's name in my entire life. Yeah. But if I see your face, it's like, boom, I remember it. Like, hey, I saw that guy behind me at the grocery store 3 weeks ago.
Totally.
Because I remember, because he was looking at that NFL book, and like, it's just like shit like that sticks out. Names, forget about it. Like, most of the time when people meet me, they tell me their name, and by the time it's come out of their mouth, I've already forgot it. Yeah. So anyways, so at this point, this chick was like, she gives me her number and all this. And it's like, that was one of those moments where it was
real you.
Yeah. And it was like, she had no time of day for me by my picture, by whatever I had written on my
real
profile.
Human primal connection thing. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah. So I think my advice to you: stop using the apps.
Yeah,
or like lower your standard on the app.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
But then it's like, okay, so then what?
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home editing all, like, I go to Starbucks, I hang out, like, I just go to the bar, like. Need friends, first of all. Like, that's part of it. Yeah.
You got like 200,000 friends, dude.
Nobody's texting me.
Nobody's texting me. Not unless they want to ride.
Yep.
Well, man, I don't know, man.
It's the biggest mystery. And like, I hate it. Like, it is really a huge source of just my ultimate missing piece in my life. But it's like, everything else is so nice. Like, maybe I will just be a hermit for the rest of my life. Like, but it's like, no, it can't. Fucking.
Brian needs a drought.
A drought buster.
What exactly does a drought buster look like?
I think I.
Pretty sure you know what it looks like. Rhymes with Ripper. So, what's on the plate then for next year? I want to ask this.
Yeah.
As soon as it starts snowing in Colorado, is Alex coming this way?
I think he wants to. Yeah. Like, he was talking about on his live stream. Like, we haven't firmed up dates or anything yet, but I hope he comes through. Like, it'd be great, like, to show him, because he really wants to ride all the trails out here and friggin'. It'll be really fun. I hope he does. But he said, like, on his last live stream, I think he said, like, Arizona, Southern California, and then probably back up, because he's like talked about, I want to be in the Pacific Northwest. Like, that's where he wants to plant himself. Like, I'm sure by May or June, and then get bored of it and go somewhere else. But
so unfortunately, the time that he's coming here, our most epic rides are gonna be under snow.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are you gonna take him?
There's still tons.
Where are you gonna take him?
I mean, Rockville is like obviously the easiest. Like, just, it's great, and it'll run all the time.
What do you think's so special about that place?
Man, how compact it is, how hard it is, the tech and
it's really unbelievable.
It's the best. Like it's really.
Somebody told me that place is only 1 square mile.
Yeah,
something I believe like that.
I believe it. Yeah,
it's just like a spider web of trails. That's the way I always explain it.
It is purpose-built mountain biking stuff. Like I've done trail days out there and like talked to like the rangers and stuff, and it's like, yeah, we've like since the 80s or 90s or whatever, since mountain biking kind of started, they kind of knew to build it for mountain bikers, and it's a little unruly. You could tell like some of the shit's like, why does this go here kind of thing. There's weird stuff, but like it's just and that's like the trail. That's the place me and my brother rode. Like when we first started riding, we'd ride Rockville. Yeah, and it's just tough and hard, and like get the jank and all the rocks and stuff. And you know, still to this day, there's a couple things that are like, like
which places do you have a hard time with?
So that I finally did it when I was with Paul the Puncher recently, but it's that one where it's like you come down. There's a cave, kind of. There's a thing. Shit. Yeah, Rockville's such a maze. It's like I don't even know the name of the connector trail. I know if you're looking this way, Unknown starts there, and then you're looking straight is Cave Trail is straight there, and then you're in this kind of flat area, but then there's just a steep ass thing off to the side. And that's where Seth did adjust.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Super steep thing.
I saw somebody roll. I've never done it either. Yeah. And I saw somebody. I was standing there, and somebody just rolled through. Yeah. And the line that they took, I was like, that just looks so easy.
Yeah, exactly. It always does.
And I was just like, man, if I was at that point, I was already dusted. I was like, if I was at the beginning of my ride right now. I think I would have just followed that guy down.
Yeah.
Like, because when I looked at his line, it made sense.
Yes, exactly.
But I couldn't see that on my own, you know?
And that's the thing that I implore everyone to do is try to find people to ride with that are better than you. Yeah. And that can push you. And, you know, maybe they're your same level, but all of a sudden they took something differently and they move differently. And all of a sudden you're noticing things like it is that's the best part. One of the best parts about what I do is that I get to ride with all these guys and chicks that are like, oh, they're doing this way. Wow. Eventually you're going to absorb it. Yeah. And you're going to see like, yeah, you didn't even blink. You didn't even move. Like it was just nothing.
Paul the Punter has been doing a really good job of that lately.
Yeah.
I
was in Moab with BCPOV. I saw it on Instagram stories and he's like taking on the stretchers that feature that. And then BCPOV's wife, Yuka, she's like going down it too. It's like, crazy. Yeah,
I seen him do something. It was up in the PNW though. Yeah, a couple weeks before. Was it? It was with POV as well. Yeah, and they were just like doing these like gnarly lines, you know. Yeah.
It's when you see it and you start like, man, Whistler and all that stuff.
What's the top 3 features that like scared the shit out of you?
Oh man, so that Green Monster Trail.
Which was where?
It's in Whistler. It's outside the bike park, but it's in Whistler. Or maybe it's Pemberton. It's Whistler still. But just amazing. It's like this crazy thing where these slabs, but you start to read them, right? Like you start to know, like, it doesn't matter how long it is, as long as there's a run out. Right. And like that was just like a transformative day for me because it was like Eric was following me down some of the stuff because it was his filming day and my riding day. Yeah. And like I was just trying. He's like, "Oh my god, he just went down it!" And like just to get that respect from him, like, I respect him so much.
He's such an amazing rider.
He is. He's such a great person too. Like riding with him like that week or longer, that it was so special to me. Like it was so cool to like get his respect and like kind of see. And then he still did stuff that I was like, "Oh Jesus!" But to like kind of match him toe to toe a little bit, like come that far to like feel good. Like,
so what else? What else is up there?
So so there's that Green Monster thing, crazy, the slab thing. There's a lot of double black Whistler tech in the park stuff that's like crazy but doable, and there's still a lot.
So almost all of it's up in Whistler.
Yeah,
that's like, where the toughest riding.
Yeah, done well, okay. So then the other one is Grand Junction, the Ribbon Trail. So that was like. The toilet bowl feature was the one that Alex had a really big crash on where he kind of missed it. And like, he had that thing where he's like, his leg was kind of.
I remember that. So that
crashed. That was on the Ribbon. Toilet bowl was really cool. But then further down, there's this thing called Hospital Hill. And it's like, and BCPOV, like I think there's Instagram or video. There will be on. He just did it with RC from Outdoor Gold.
Oh, I saw that pop up on RC's Instagram. I
exactly.
Think.
It was like him mid-save.
Yeah.
And like those guys are awesome. RC's awesome. The Crashing Dad's awesome. Like Dakota, like those guys are so cool to ride with out in Grand Junction. Like I had such a good day that I didn't film that day, but everybody else was. Yeah. So cool. But that's a feature that I couldn't do. I just couldn't commit. Like all the other guys got it. Like two of them, like for the first time ever. Like I'm like, oh, I'd roll into it and then just stop. And like, but it's just baby steps, you know. Like you feel it, you get it. Like they were doing big ass drops. Like I'm still.
Your riding has evolved, you know, dramatically since you started.
Yeah, I think so too.
And what is it that you do? What's your like process to get you like to commit?
Ooh, to commit, man, it's a lot. There's a lot to it. Like, it's like either a switch. It's either on or off. Like
is it like, does peer pressure do it for you? Or
no,
like some people like peer pressure just like turns them off.
It does. Like, cause I mean, like a guy, 36-year-old guy has never had alcohol. You know? It's like peer pressure is not going to really do anything. Right. But
so I must be very susceptible to peer pressure.
Exactly. It's like finding that right thing. Like you either feel it or you don't. Like I can't think of anything that like, there's just certain times where it's like, yep, let's do it. Like I feel it. Let's try. Like I can't even think of many times where I've like hemmed and hawed for 20 minutes and been like, I don't know. Like it's either charge into it, feel it, and
just charge it or no. You're just like, that ain't me.
Yeah,
sorry guys.
Exactly. No, exactly. It's like, I'll ride around, and it only hurts the mental confidence every fucking time when you do that. Where it's like, okay, I thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah. What's the worst ride you've had that you can really like stick out, like channel or not?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, man, that day fucking sucked balls.
There was one in Spain where. And it was funny too, because like I complained so much on the video where people were like, hey man, you're out there riding. You just take a breath. Man. You're like, it's like, shut the fuck. Come on. Like I crashed so bad so many times.
I think I remember that video.
Dropper post was fucked up. Yeah, it was like last year in October. It was just bad. And it's like, it's so funny too, because the Basque MTV trips are so fucking hard. It's like, who is this trip for? Like, who is like, there's like, I'm good. Like, I've always felt like I'm decent and good. I can keep up. But it's like, this is like so silly. Like, you're just tumbling down. It's all raw and stuff. But yeah, that was a tough one. It's more the mental battles now where it's like, God damn, I could have got it. Like, there was actually very, very rarely do I edit something out of my video, like where it's like a key moment. But there was something, there was a drop or a jump where I just totally went off on myself. Like, fuck, come on, fucking do it. Like, just pretty, you know,
a little
like
meltdown.
A typical meltdown. I'm like, I'm cutting it out. I can't just, it was just like kind of
it was
that
too
might be
much.
a mistake. That might be a mistake, but maybe not, because I just felt like I don't want to set the tone and like open myself up to, I get it. I can do this stuff. Like I was more beating up on myself, and it's like, do I just put this out here again to have a bunch of people be like, oh, you know, either way, like, oh, you're a pussy, or, oh, you got it. Yeah. Or it's like, moving on, like, instead of reliving it.
Right. I think there's still a certain side too, where it's like, I mean, you're, as a person, you want to kind of protect yourself too, you know, and you watch something like that and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I lost my shit there.
Yeah.
You know, that's embarrassing.
It is. And that.
Like when Seth threw that bike off the trail.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I can't believe that he didn't sit and think about putting that in the video. Or not.
Which is funny, because I was surprised how many people reacted like that was a big deal kind of thing.
To me, I was just like, man, he's really pissed. But there's some people that I've talked to that were just like, I lost a lot of respect for him.
Which is crazy. It's like, that's the culture he grew up in. BMX culture.
Yeah. Chuck that shit around. Yeah. Fuck that thing. Yeah,
exactly. It's
some guy fucks up on a skateboard, breaks it in half, goes buy another one tomorrow. You know?
I do see that, but it's like, this guy's like the pinnacle of an amazing rider. Like he is like, that is the process. That is the unveiling. Like you don't get a peek into what made him a fucking amazing rider. Right. It's that happening 1,000 times of taking off something, being so like passionate that exactly like, I'm gonna fucking get this. Fuck, like that's what makes greatness. Like, and maybe people see that and like they they take it the wrong way of like, oh, maybe they like, wow, I could never get so fired up about something. Or he's breaking a $3,000 bike, gets a bike for free. I totally I see that as well. But like for me, like when we worship people so much for their like total rant here, but I always think about rappers. Mm-hmm. These guys are the epitome of cool. They're the epitome of worship cool.
Right.
But they spent thousands and thousands of hours just alone in their bedroom writing. It's the fucking dorkiest, stupidest thing you could ever imagine. It's so fucking like uncool.
Right.
I mean, thousands and thousands of hours trying to rhyme shit.
Right.
You know? And that we never get to see that. We never see that side of it, you know, of like the process and the magic and how much work it fucking takes. That's all it is these guys are just, okay, Kool-Aid with lime. Yeah. No, that sucks. Like, and yeah, I just love seeing that little bit of realness, you know, instead of everything being so polished.
Yeah. That podcast I was talking about earlier, the NPR one, they mentioned that a lot of these entrepreneurs, what they have is not some like super insane intelligence or maybe a little hint of narcissism, you know, like what seems to jump out the most is perseverance.
Grit. That's everything. You know, I think
perseverance
over and over again. It's like people that can get kicked and kicked and kicked and come back and like, and that's a weird like disorder in itself, right? Like, no, I'm right. I'm right. Oh no, I'm right. No, I'm still going. Like, because we're all very much like, I guess nobody liked it, and
that's one of the things with my channel. You know that I've told you before that I feel like there's a core group of people that are doing mountain bike YouTube stuff. And I think that I relate it to those guys in Mount Tam that started mountain biking years ago. And I think that the people that stick with it, even if they aren't the best, 10 years from now, will be very successful, you know? And that was one of those things that was going through my mind when I was kind of slumping was like, dude, I could quit. You mean,
and then what? Yeah.
You know, I could quit and I could just go ride bikes like I was before.
Yeah.
And I'd still have fun. And I have a lot of friends. I made like, it wouldn't be a loss.
No, not at all. Like, not at all.
You know, but on the other hand, it's like, but that perseverance part of me is like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I want to just keep going. And even if, you know, it's really hard not to judge yourself on subscribers.
Yeah, of course. It's
like,
the easy,
I think like once you hit a number, maybe like what you said,
100,000.
Maybe it's 100,000.
Yeah, 75,000 pretty much for me was like I knew I could do it as a job.
At that point, you're like, okay, I'm good.
Yep.
You know, like that number doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Then it's about how engaged people are, or
and how fired up. And
So, but for me now, it's still a number.
Yes,
you know?
Of course.
And I don't remember where the fuck I was going with that.
Shit, you're talking about perseverance and stuff, but on the same tangent, on the same note, like I was thinking about this as well today, and how there's this guy Shane who he just did like the Mind of Logan Paul, and you probably had it suggested on YouTube because it was like the biggest thing. Like he was doing 14 million views a day on this. It's an 8-part series about
my
Logan
daughter
Paul,
watches him,
and I watched it, and it was super fast. Like he did a really good job.
He does like mini. My daughter said he does like mini kind of like documentaries of YouTubers.
Exactly, and he's gone and kind of lived with other people to take on their personality for the day. He's done like 3 big ones so far, and it's just really well done. Like really gave me hope and inspiration. Like, wow, okay, you can do this. I just need to be gay and have a photographer. But he's been on YouTube for at least 10 years. Yeah. You know, he's been up and down and up and down and up. I mean, 10 fucking years, you know, and like R2 is like, it's good. It is pretty solid, but all the just that muscle memory of like, I'm sure thinking it's falling apart 1,000 times. And just like, oh, nobody likes it. And then, oh, I'm doing product reviews now. And then, oh, doing this. And now he's like found his thing. And maybe it's not his thing. Maybe this is the next thing. But just that it's just really, really cool thing. I was watching it. It's like, man, this is neat.
Yeah. What YouTube channels do you watch that aren't mountain bike?
So I do watch Rogan. And I don't listen to the podcast as much as I watch the podcast on YouTube.
Why do you like to watch it?
Oh, I still have it on in the background. Like I'll have it on a different monitor, or I'll be eating or doing something. But yeah, I just love the back and forth to see someone and talking like this. I think it's so much more engaging. Like the MTV podcast guys. Like I don't listen to the podcast as much. I bet if it was on YouTube and it was a video, I bet I'd watch it a ton more. And that's just the way my brain's wired.
The videos have been doing well with the BKER Bar. Like the Phil one. I would imagine this one's going to do very well. Yeah. But
Of course.
But yeah. I mean, well, you're popular. You know what I mean? So I'm here. As much as you don't think you're the cool kid in the room, you are.
There are numbers to prove it.
So like, but I think there's something to do with that. I think, at the end of the day, as humans, the way that we communicate is visually, and so, that goes into like when we were talking about the girls earlier and stuff like that. Of course. So it definitely means something. And I think that it's interesting in how he does it. So who else do you watch?
Man, it's so funny. Casey Neistat, I don't watch him as much anymore. I was definitely on a big Neistat kick when I started my channel. It was so inspirational for like a full-time YouTuber and that idea. And then it's just like people lose interest with me. I'm sure it's like, oh, okay, same old shit. I'm moving on. It's also a good lesson. I'm like, oh, what's what pops up? There's not much.
Trail Features is another YouTuber you're familiar with as well. And he is in our Slack group that we chat. Those of you guys may not know, we have a secret big boys club.
Cadre.
Yeah, somehow I got in it.
Yeah.
But
when you start it, you get in.
Yeah, right. That's the secret, right? So if you make it, they will come. Yeah. So anyways, we were chatting in there. We have this thing that we use to chat about creating videos and like to be able to have expertise amongst our peers.
There's a lot of good discussion.
Yeah. And he always has some like different channels that he comes up with.
Yes.
And he turned me on to Simone Gertz.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched her?
I have been watching. I watched her latest one. Super interesting. Shitty robots.
Yeah. She's really, really interesting. And then like
she's Swedish.
Yeah.
She has a perfect American accent.
Yeah. And her humor is freaking like spot on.
She's great. Yeah.
She's recently had like brain cancer. And kind of went through that whole process on her channel and still like cracking jokes the whole time.
Totally.
So that was really good. The TEDx one's sucked me in too.
Howard Stern just started uploading a bunch of little clips.
Oh yeah.
They're like a minute and a half, which is like the worst, like fucking a minute and a half on YouTube.
Dude, on Instagram.
Like, that guy, he can interview. Like this is 40 years in now for him, and like I actually kind of watched a bunch and just like taking notes on the interview and like, man, he can sit there and talk and really just set a question up and gets a lot out of people. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, and so I'm like, I watched a bunch of those recently.
It's definitely like you were commending me earlier, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Like, it's definitely a trait that I guess is few and far between.
It is.
I mean, because I was looking the other day, and Rogan's podcast is actually one of the biggest channels on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
And he is really just like honestly, if you were to tell me,
it looks easy, but he's good. Like he really is good. He can
like even I would love to like pick his brain about
of course.
Which was the one that you just felt like you were talking to a wall.
Yeah.
And
I'm
because
sure I watched a couple where it's like, oh, this guy's gonna be on it, and it only ends up being like 45 minutes.
Yeah, he's just fighting
like that. But he's been doing it for a long, long time too. Like he might be on 12 years now.
When you figure he's been interviewing people in the MMA world and then outside of that, being a comedian, that you have to read people,
and have those like funny, like he's a pro, but everything is reps. Everything's reps. Yeah. Like if you did this twice a week, if you could come up with topics and have people and you get even more reps and then you have even more stuff. Like I'm all about just doing more until you burn out and you want to do 2 videos a week,
right?
Have a real life,
right? So reps.
Yeah,
that was your big thing.
Yeah,
3 a week.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad changing to 2? Did you?
Yeah, I do feel bad. I feel like the people on Patreon will feel robbed, all that stuff. But
like you're lying. Like you built your channel around 3 a week.
Yeah,
you know, like do you feel like you're just letting people down?
I don't, because the fucking funniest thing is when I posted on Patreon, 10 people, I can't keep up anymore. I can't watch them all. Like that is the most common thing now, is that people can't watch them all.
I can tell you that from my perspective.
Yeah, and that's like a very, very common thing, which is very interesting, right? So like, did you ever watch them all? or
I think it's
I'm wearing
multifaceted.
off, right? Like,
I think it's multifaceted. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
And then that's all it can be.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely an overexposure, you know, but that isn't there when there isn't 35 other fucking good channels out there.
Yes, exactly.
When you started, and it was very easy for me to watch 3 a week because I had nobody else to fucking watch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that was also before I was doing my channel.
Yep.
You know, so it was like, okay, you're watching Brian's 3, you're watching Alex's 1, you're maybe watching Seth's 2.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
good.
then
that's all there is.
But now, I mean, just in our Slack group, which we don't even have all the people in Mountain, you know, like there's like 50 people in there.
Totally.
You know, like that's nuts.
It's interesting though too, because I was like this summer I was hanging out with a couple buddies and we were like had YouTube up on the screen and it was like we ran out of shit to watch pretty quickly. Like there's still a need. Like when I'm at home, there's still a need. It's like it's very interesting psychology because Seth's videos come out. I have a notification on. I'm just like everybody else. Like, what is it? What's it happening? Right. But then other videos, it's like, okay, I'll watch it. What's the thumbnail? What's the title? There is still something to learn from that.
Got stuck in. Yeah,
exactly. 100%. Like if you look at samplers, single track samplers, thumbnails and titles, like he's just playing that game so much and he's killing it. Yeah. Like he's like easily.
MTV Daily Writer is really good.
Yes,
with his
exactly.
Too.
It's kind of that thing of like, if you're not intriguing people, like even if it's the best video ever, like you have to.
I had a video recently where it was, so those of you guys that aren't in the YouTube creator space, there's a spot where it tells you like how long people watched your video before they went somewhere else. And I think that the rule of thumb is if you're like at like over 6 minutes, that's pretty damn good. Yeah. You know, so I had this video
like 60%.
Right.
Yeah.
I had this video that was like 10 minutes. So it was like 3 minutes, maybe more than normally.
Yeah.
But it wasn't getting like shit for views.
Yeah.
So it was like the people that actually clicked on it almost watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But people weren't clicking on it. So that told me it was that just thumbnail.
It is.
You know, it was like, so, and I tried to change the thumbnail, and I think that if you miss that initial like punch, it doesn't work.
Sometimes it'll come back around. Yeah. I've done a couple, and it's like, okay.
But it was really amazing to me to see that. It was like one of my best performing videos as far as like how long people would watch it.
Yeah.
But they just weren't clicking.
Yeah. And it's the whole magic of it, and it's like kind of the sad magic of it, and that there's it's a lot to figure out and kind of be like, okay. For me, it's like, I'll have a great video. It's like, but there's nothing. Okay, I found a great, that looks good, but it just looks like everything else that I've done. Like, you know, what is actually.
How do you differentiate it? You know?
If something happens, then you can grab onto it. And that's kind of where it kind of comes clickbait. Oh, I crashed. Oh, I did this. Like, I faced off with a yak. Like, that's going to be my first ride where it's like, okay, I can totally juice this. Do you think,
though, like if you were 1 a week, Brian, that you could take all those exciting things that happen over your whole week of riding and just make a video that fucking killed it?
I wonder. That's an interesting thought. I've never thought about that, like riding 4 times and only making one video out of those 4 rides and just cutting
I did a video when I did that video, I quit recording.
Yeah.
And it was just clips of me riding for a month, but they were all like 30 seconds a spot.
I remember that.
And you were like, dude, I love that.
Yeah, it was because it was like a thread. There was a story. There was like a thing.
So your story could be, you know, you went to Nepal.
Yeah.
And you had, you know, all these experiences.
Yeah.
Then the part to me that would be just very difficult as a creator thinking about is how do you really like narrow that down?
Yeah.
Because taking a 3-hour ride and turning it into 15 minutes is already hard enough.
Yep.
So take a week and turn that into 15 minutes.
It's pretty rough.
That's really fucking difficult.
And it's like throwing away all that work. Like, you know, it's like, oh, like no matter how good that video did, you would know like, man, people would have enjoyed like 3 of these, I think, but maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah. That's the thing though. That's the thing that, you know, I think that's the question. I personally think that if you went to 1 a week, that you, with your experience and stuff like that, I think you could filter in the second video, or maybe that second video is just your Patreon content.
Yeah.
And people like, hey, if you want the second one, you got to be on Patreon, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. There's always,
you have your own business.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
we're all figuring it out. It's like it's always an experiment and trying to figure out what the tastes of people are. It's so funny too, because like nobody really copies Seth. And it's there, it's there, it's all
a proven
there.
format.
Yeah, exactly. And no, it's like, let's just put the gimbal on and go ride. Like
Jordan Byron is a guy on YouTube that had the reason he started his channel was to try to win Seth's bikes.
Yeah.
And his videos, in my opinion, like every time I watch one, I'm like, why is this guy not fucking huge?
Yeah.
Like he really follows Seth's format.
Yeah.
He does like a little voiceover, a little bit of story, like. And I'm not saying every one of them is like hitting as hard as Seth, but a lot of his videos that I've watched, I've been really impressed with.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me because it's like, it shows like, I always say the hardest part of YouTube is getting people to know you exist.
Man, which is crazy, right? Like, cause I have this weird true belief where it's like, if the video's good, it's going to do good. Like YouTube wants nothing more than a good video. That's all they want. So it's like, what? But and he needs to promote it to his people. Like I don't know.
I mean, every time that I've done something with you, I've seen a lot of growth on my channel. So, and I don't necessarily like see them all go away afterwards. So I really think it's that marketing game, you know, of like how, at least as you're growing.
Yes.
I think that I completely understood what you said earlier when you're like, hey, I hit that number. All of a sudden that doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, but I think as you're initially growing, you're not even on YouTube's radar. Yeah. Like right now, like,
well, I don't know, man. Like go to Whistler and fucking make a Green Trails. Go to Whistler and make a like Paul the Puncher. I was looking at his channel, like 600,000 views or something. I wanted and then you know
Location has a lot.
The Lone Ranger has that classic. I don't know. It's probably up to 5 million views. Yeah, and it's. I don't know. It's out there. I think it's all out there for the taking. And it's just like, take a step back and create a story. I think the story, let's all make stories.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you be most bummed out about if it ended tomorrow, your channel?
That I wouldn't get to meet as many people. Like it would it's getting to meet all these people, like getting to meet you, like it's so cool. Like it's just get to ride with people. It's also like fast friendship kind of thing where there's a lot of loose connections. Like, hey, I'm there. Like I hit them up. It's not, you know, real deep, like texting every day kind of stuff, which is fine too. Like I'm cool with that, but it's all about the people for sure. Like just like that. Yeah. Going back to a normal job would be kind of a bummer too, but like it's, right now, like throw a dart at the map, I could wrestle someone up and to ride with me and probably have a great time. And like, cause they would kind of know who I am or maybe like what I'm doing. So they kind of have an idea like, oh you'd like this or do this. And mountain biking's amazing.
It's a great sport. I mean, there's so much that I like about it. And I think the community of people that do it too we're collectively the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to have some certain parts of you that's adventurous.
Yeah.
A certain part of you that wants to be challenged.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even if you're out of shape, like you don't go in and get into mountain biking.
The pain of it is like real.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny. Like I forget where I was. I was like fixing, you know, I fucked myself up or something. Like people have no idea. Like people have no idea like how hard it is and how like
the consequence is high.
Yeah.
You know, like I was talking, I rode with a guy that just started riding recently, and it's like, you know, every time you tell somebody that you're a mountain biker, they're like, in my mind, I think that the first thing that comes to their head is like rampage.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they think that's what you're doing, hitting 80-foot gaps, you know, and like, but on the other hand, you talk to them and you will hear them say, that's not necessarily what they're thinking.
Yeah.
They are thinking what we're doing.
Yeah.
And they're still
scared of it. Yeah.
You know, like I know when I've told people that I'm a mountain biker, they're like already, you know, like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. You know, but then like they hear you talk about like doing something like night riding and they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, like what is really wrong?
I got the lumens. Don't worry about it.
But I think that like that's what I was saying. Like there's collectively just to be in this sport, you have to follow into a certain
it's cool. People, and it is. There's as much as people are on the spectrum of like all different things, it is a pretty unifying, awesome.
It weeds people out.
Definitely.
I mean, like even something like, let's say, skiing could be considered a sport that, you know, is a little bit, or could be a little bit more extreme.
Yeah.
But there's also a really pretty easy side to that.
You get on the lift, you go down, and
you just roll, like slide down the hill. Maybe some people go up there. They say they're a skier and they do 2 runs in a day.
Exactly.
They sit at the lodge, have chocolate, and hot chocolate, and freaking tea and crumpets and whatever the fuck they do. You know, and it's like with mountain biking, it's like even if you're a shuttle guy or a lift guy or a cross country, like no matter what, you're physically getting pushed.
Yeah.
You know, like
100%.
Downhill days, I'm just as fucking beat as I am on a freaking like big, like 5,000 foot of climbing day, you know, or something crazy. You know? Out of the places that you've been, there's got to be a couple of moments whenever you're like right here in this moment. Maybe it's a view, maybe it's something you accomplished, maybe it's just that right time of zen. Like what's the time that like just sticks out in your head of like, man, that was fucking.
There was a good one in Italy too, and I called it out in the video of just like it was like a waterfall, it's a big valley. We're like biking up this thing, and I remember like talking about in the video, like I really hope you guys get to do something like this. Like I hope it doesn't have to be this year. It doesn't have to be, you know, like it once in your life, do some kind of mountain bike trip and to experience this, like. It's just so special, like in the Alps and Europe, and like it doesn't have to be there. It could be Moab, it could be anywhere. But that idea of just getting out there and like it would just hit me so hard. Like, man, this is so special, and why aren't more people doing this? Because they make excuses and they don't want to. It's a long flight, or like, you know, money's always a thing, of course. But
you know,
if you want it bad enough, and I just hope that I'm convincing people that it's worth it. Like, get out there. This is amazing.
You convinced me. I mean, honestly, dude, if I would have kept doing my website for BKER when I started, I would have been like 3 years ahead of you.
Yes, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yes, the concept is there.
Like I started doing, I was recording trails. I was writing them up. I was taking pictures along the way. I was collecting the trail maps, and I got to the editing phase, and it buried me. You know, it buried me, and I let it go. And then I just sat around, drank beers with my buddy, and talked about doing it until I started watching you. And at that point, it was like, all right, no, I need to do this. So I mean, you have. And if it's just one person, I think that would be a win.
Yeah, it is. 100%. It so is.
I know it's more than that, but
that's the funny thing too, because like I haven't done it very recently. I was like sneaking that motivational shit in and like then putting in there, because I think it does hit like more than just leading by example, like kind of pushing people and be like, hey, try it, get it, do it. Like,
that's one of the things that I enjoyed about you when I started watching you was I thought you were kind of quirky. And I think that now that you've been doing it for a while, like that gets kind of lost. You know what I mean?
It's like the template. Like of my goofiness. Like it's kind of, it is what it is.
But you were, I could tell that you were a guy that like read motivational books. You know, because you were just like regurgitating that shit, you know? And I think that's, you know, that's a good part of being successful in life is like learning something and applying it. And learning and applying it, and maybe just fucking telling yourself you're applying it helps too. Like fake it till you make it kind of thing. You know? And that was one of the things that I really appreciated about your channel, you know. And what I was gonna kind of segue into there, that as you get bigger, like everybody wants to ride with you. And I know for me, the other day I went to Rockville, I just wanted to ride by myself again. You know, and it was definitely something that that I missed, you know. And I remember that also whenever you started that, like it was like you were always by yourself. And then all of a sudden you were with everybody, and I kind of missed that that by himself Brian. You know, do you miss that guy?
No, because it's been there. You just haven't seen the videos. Like it's I've done, like people say that a lot, where it's like, there's a mix of me riding by myself still, but it's not like the subscriber updates where it's kind of more of a raw thing. But I like it. I love riding by myself.
Yeah.
I love riding with my brother. I love riding with other people. I love it all.
I didn't click the bell.
Yeah, exactly. They're there. They're all there. There's not as many, but they're there, especially on the road trip and stuff. But I'll do more. I know people really do enjoy it because it's always like, okay,
I think whenever I started watching you guys, all of you guys on YouTube, the subscriber updates to me were always the most important.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed them.
The least viewed and the most important. Like I always thought they were the most important too.
Because I just really wanted to know more about the people. And that's kind of why whenever I started, I said, I wanted to be like a vlog on wheels because I just wanted to know more about you or more about Seth or more about, whoever it was.
Totally.
So I was like, I'm just going to give everybody everything, and I think that's what people connect to.
Yeah, 100%. And always has been and always will be. And kind of finding those moments to be the realest you and like kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about this or that. And that's when the solo videos are the best. Because like, all right, here we go. Let's just talk about something that's on your mind and like blog about this. And yeah, those are the most powerful. I think those are like most magnetizing, right? It's like some video that gets 100,000 views is just kind of pooped out there by YouTube and kind of random people off the street are watching it. But those subscriber updates that get like 10,000 views are like, those are like your people.
What was the ride that surprised you the most? Like the people that maybe you met up with or the you didn't expect this ride to be good and all of a sudden it was just like an epic day.
Actually, when you said that, there's the last ride on the road trip. So last week's video with MTB Yum Yum. It was so cool. It was like I texted him, hey, I'm coming through Salt Lake City. And he's like, yeah, okay, we'll get it. And he always downplays it all. Like, oh, yeah, we'll do this shuttle. And it's funny because we parked and then we shuttled and it was like such a short drive. I'm like, oh, this is going to be kind of a little short ride. Right. And then we go up the Puke Hill and we go up this thing. And it was just this awesome, super surprising ride. There's this trail, this part of the trail called the Spine, which another guy called it Red Death, and I think on Trail Forks it's called Red Death, where it's like just really crazy. And I crashed on it the first time, and we came back and did another try, and like it's just neat riding with that guy. Always, it's like people have their opinions of Mormons and all that stuff, and
whatever, man.
Exactly, I get along with people so well, and like he's just such a great guy, and I think. God, we just want to hate each other so much.
People are people, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you have fun and like there's, I hear so much now like, oh, you're a Trump supporter. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not a Trump supporter, but like people will
associate it.
They will like put that out there. Like, oh, if you like Trump, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, I couldn't even talk to him if it's like, come on, just because he's he's crazy. We know that it's good, but
whatever.
Like, can we gotta hate? Like everything's divide and hate and the Mormon thing. Like so many people.
I had a really, really good time riding with Dusty Betty and her husband.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
it's probably one of the ones. I mean, we rode in Downeyville. Yeah, granted, the trail was
of course
awesome. Yeah, and we were there preseason. We had to hike through the snow on the top.
Yeah.
And but it was one of the they were just really good people.
Exactly.
It's really good fucking people. Like it was one of those days where like you felt like even though I didn't know them, aside from getting there that morning, and I really didn't watch their channel that much, just really got along really well. And it was like one of those things where people were like, I am like the polar opposite of them. Yeah.
But we share this mountain biking thing.
Yeah,
an open mind and hang out. It's like, it's so fun. It's so easy to like realize that we're all the same. Like we just want to hate. We just want to grab onto something and hate and like not have an open mind and change opinions and stuff.
Yeah. If you moved anywhere else in the U.S., where would you go?
I get asked that so much. And
is that the question? Actually, let me take that back.
Yeah.
What's the question that you're fucking tired of answering?
That's kind of it, but I'm not tired. I'm not so tired. So I will give so the thing that I hate hearing now is like, oh, you're riding so good. You've come so far. And you said it.
Yeah.
It must be what like a really fat guy must, when he loses all the weight. Oh, you look so good. You look so good. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You look so good. How fucking fat was I? Like, really? Like, what the fuck?
right?
Like, come on. Like, I get it. I am better. I do feel better. I'm faster. The Rockville race video, like, you know, I fucking blew my time away. But it's like, enough. Yeah. Enough with the patronizing. Oh my God, you're so good. You're
all right, well, you're fucking shitty.
Exactly. Thank you.
I just said that because it made me feel better.
And I'll always have a chip on my shoulder. I'll always feel shitty. So like it helps. But I had to bring it around for a good funny one. But
you're gonna have to go up and run the Confluence run because I think I have you on Strava.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a text though and told you were probably changing a time.
Yeah, exactly. I fell. I went into the water down below, scrambled back up.
Yeah. I only still beat you by 3 seconds. But
it's there.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
But to answer your question, Asheville. Asheville's so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's really like the male to female ratio. Like I could probably find a woman.
You could find one
like on the trail, like 50-50, if not 60-40. Like when I go out, it's like, wow,
fucking unicorns everywhere.
Exactly. This is amazing. Like this is a great place, and just the vibe and like Seth's there, and you know Alex's cadre of friends are there that I got to meet, and just so many cool people, and just a cool Bobo's there, and it's a neat vibe. It's a really neat vibe.
Yeah.
I think it gets hit by the hurricanes. It's a little colder than here for sure. Like it snows.
I would like to get there next year.
Do it.
I really would like to get there.
Especially like if Seth does those trips, like the Red Wolf Tour thing.
Yeah, I just want to go.
Kind of a cool thing.
You know, I don't know, like I would feel like I know.
I
feel like a fanboy.
I know. It's funny, right? Like it's like
but on the same note, if I went there, I'd be like, Seth, do you want to ride with me?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Isn't it funny? It's like if you're like,
well, I also don't want to like take one of those spots.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could probably go to there and Seth would probably ride with me because I'm in the community.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, there's like 15 spots or 20 spots. Like there's no reason I should be that spot. You know?
That is funny. It's a good point for sure.
It's like when you see one of your friends doing a giveaway for something that you want.
Yeah. Hey, I'm entering in.
You're like, you can't enter because you're like, oh, and
Robert from the Bike Channel.
Bike 31. You're like, oh, that was set up like a motherfucker, right? You know. So he's still digging the Orban?
I am. Yeah. It's getting beat up for sure. Like there's a lot of weird little, rubs and cracks and shit where I'm like, fuck, how long is a bike supposed to last? Like, God, I hate that it's so beat up and like, go get it painted or like, man. And it's a little more than superficial too, where it's like, God, the part where the chain kind of hits the thing, but like riding wise, I feel like I'm just always getting better.
What did you do with the Bronson?
It's still there. I still have it. I'll always have it. Yeah. I need to get wheels for it so I can actually ride it every once in a while.
Plate it in bronze.
Yeah, exactly. The Bronson.
Yeah, the Bronson. There you go. That's pretty funny. Shit, I just had a really good question. I completely fucking forgot it, man. Oh, what was your take on the pinion bike you rode?
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah.
It was cool. Heavy as fuck though. Like we did several 3-hour, 2-hour hike bikes, and it's like,
oh, if you're picking that thing up,
it was like,
but riding it doesn't feel that way.
It was crazy. Like it's pretty crazy how every bike review is like, oh, amazing suspension. Like so it's called Deviate. The Guide is the bike. It's called the Guide, but Deviate is the company. And I was like, the first time just plowing through these big boulders and like, I feel nothing. This is fucking insane. Like this is what suspension's supposed to be. Like very blown away by it. Like
when I was in New Zealand, it was zeroed.
Yeah.
And I have never felt that confident in a corner as I did on that bike.
Yeah.
Because the way that weight
it's just planted, it's centered.
It just like sucks that.
I had like really good braking power on a couple things where I was like, whoa, wow, okay, I get the braking down.
Yeah.
Like it was neat. It's definitely heavy. The grip shift was weird.
Yeah, I couldn't get it.
I had my hands out and it's like I had to physically move my hand in and then come
I
back
feel
out.
like when I talked to Zero, they said that they were working on a did you get him? Oh, right. Good job for Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi over here just caught a nap. So like
mosquito.
Right, yeah. I think that they said that they were working on electronic shifting.
Yeah.
You know, I think
that's part of it.
I think that if that gets worked out and in the memory of that is like if you push it at the wrong time, it waits to the right time to do it.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, to me, if I'm rubbing my bike crystal ball, that derailleur's got to go.
Yeah.
It's got
it has to evolve. It has to
go.
Yep.
It makes no sense, at least in the mountain biking world.
Yeah.
Like you can keep it on road bike for a long time.
Yeah.
They're not going through boulder fields and tight
that
little
was so
crooks
cool.
and mannies, you know.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm going through this tight thing. You just don't even care.
Yeah.
And like, the gearbox gets smaller and lighter. Everything can get better and better. And at least someone's trying it to evolve and to keep pushing. What do you think about the e-bikes? Oh, I love it. I want one. I definitely want to get one. I'd love to get my dad on one, my uncle on one, because it's just, you'd be able to keep up and go ride and like do stuff and see stuff. And it's such a fucking hot, but it's just it's Trump with wheels. Yeah, it is.
E-bikes, that's right? A good way to say it.
Fuck, it just has to be a hate thing. It has to be it's a motorcycle. It has to be we're the guys that build fucking renegade trails and like ride at night when you're not supposed to and you're worried about like, I get it because you open this up and I get it, but it's like holier than thou fucking dirtbag mountain bikers. It was funny too because Ben, the guide who does Ben Jones mountain biking, he actually created the DV8 bike, and like he's like, everyone's getting all high and mighty on the e-bikes. It's like, it's all about going downhill. It's all about having fun. Right. Like, what is the point? Like, we're all just trying to have fun. And
I personally feel like, let me preface it with what you just said a minute ago. I get all the reasons that are against what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I get them all. However, I feel like every fucking trail should be open to whoever the fuck wants to go on.
Yeah.
Like, because seriously, in our day and age, people need to get the fuck outside.
Yeah.
You know, like
so true.
Like if we're really gonna like limit them,
it's just always something.
I can understand like, okay, we don't want the real motorcycles on these trails because maybe they're just gonna like the erosion is way out of control. You know?
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
But on a bicycle, even an e-bike, I guarantee you, me on an e-bike still can't fucking hit it as hard as some other guys on a regular bike.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm just gonna have a little bit easier time at it, you know.
And there's studies where it's like foot traffic has more erosion than mountain biking, and like horses are the worst. And it's a battle.
It's all who pays for the study, though.
Yeah.
You can make it go either way.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought about that.
No, that's hilarious.
Alex Jones.
So from here, man, you're at 200,000.
Yeah.
What's the next thing, the milestone, whether it's a number or...
I think the next milestone is making this Anthony Bourdain style show that I want to make and putting it out there and see if people like it, and then making many, many more episodes, and maybe even...
What do you have to do that?
I need a cinematographer. I need an actual partner, a person, a cameraman kind of thing. And I actually rode with a guy in Tibet that is a mountain biker, and he loves cinematography. He actually works with CNN and stuff. So we're brewing. We're putting something together. Hopefully next month, go down to a place and go film this episode.
Just to try one.
Exactly, a pilot basically, and then see, because I think those are goals that you can control. It's like, okay, 250,000 subs. It's just in the ether, right? Like what can you control? You can control 3 videos a week. You can control, okay, I'm going to go tell a story about this, or like, okay, that's what you can control. And those are goals that are all achievable. So for me, that's like,
but you have to do
my obsession right now is like getting one of those out and seeing how hard it is, because it's going to be totally different.
I think it was Jordan Boostmaster. I watched a video of his when I first started, and he was like, how to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And like his, like, I want to say it was like his number one was like, just go do it.
Yes.
Like that was the hardest thing.
Of
and
course.
It was, even with BKER Bar, I talked about this for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Before doing it. And I just was like, oh, I'm going to like organize all these people, and I'm going to have them like set up for like a month ahead of time. Yeah. And I finally got to a point where I was like,
that's life.
I just need to fucking do it.
It's life.
Because if I just commit to doing it,
you'll do it.
It'll happen.
Exactly.
So the first one was a shit show.
Yeah.
It was just me having a regular live stream, but telling everybody.
It's BKER Bar.
Yeah, it's going to be BKER Bar. You know, and it's going to start next week, and this is the beginning of it.
Exactly.
But it did.
That's
life. You know, and it's growing, and it's not been easy. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's the same thing with that. You know, it's like
100. That's like
just
life.
To do
life in a nutshell is like showing up and doing. It's like, you know, you can't be a lawyer or a doctor without going to school. Right. But everything else.
But you still have to go to school that day.
Exactly. Everything
you still
else,
have to sign up that day.
Like if you want to speak Spanish, you just fucking do it. You practice and you get the apps and you do it and you do it and you do it and you do it. And either you get there or you give up. Yeah. It's not other people stopping you. And, I would have done it, but my dog got sick.
Yeah. That's awesome, Brian. We're right here at 2 hours.
Nice.
Man.
Wow.
Fucking goes by quick.
That was quick.
Every time that I reach out to somebody about being on the Biker Bar, I'm always like, hey man, it's 2 hour conversation. They're like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, it goes by. And Rogan does 3.
Yeah.
And I can see how it happens,
yeah.
you know, and especially with all the experience, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I can't, you know, thank you enough for being on the show today, dude.
My pleasure.
It was super fun, man.
Love hanging with you.
Yeah. Super fun fucking getting together, having you here in the Biker Bar, sharing a fucking beer together again. It's been a while. So for all of you out there, here we are once again wrapping this show up. I really appreciate everybody who has sat down and watched us all live this whole time. I appreciate everybody that has been part of the channel so far. When I was joking at the very beginning, you may not have noticed that was a joke about the Patreon, but it really was. If you guys, you know, want to help support the channel, want to help support Biker Bar, you know, go on to Patreon. I do my best to actually make that have more value than just like some longer cut videos. I try to, every time I work with a vendor or something like that, try to get some discounts. So I try to make it like, hey, if you're spending this much a year for me, you could maybe save that much a year. Exactly. You know, that's
such a good deal.
Something I try to do. So if you get a chance, go ahead and stop by there. If not, just hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Because as I said, I'm still not at 100,000. So I'm just trying to get to 10K.
I'm going to put a like on it right now.
If I can get to 10K, that means I get the community tab. And I can
maybe.
Maybe. Because YouTube just is still like a mysterious engine out there. So.
I don't want the sound. Hey,
everybody, thank you very much. Brian.
Dude, my pleasure.
Thank you very much, man. Right. Super fun. Everybody remember, the goal of the channel is to let everybody know it only takes a bike to be a biker. Get the fuck out and be one.
Nice.